श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Bhakti Vaibhav class. Hare Krishna. Devotees are able to hear me?
Yes, true.
Thank you. So, in the last classes, we saw that how Lord Sankarsana appeared to Citraketu Maharaj, and then Citraketu Maharaj offered wonderful prayers filled with the tattva of bhakti. Then Lord Sankarsana is saying that, my dear King Citraketu, now you have become a perfect devotee, but you lack some knowledge. So I want to give you some knowledge, because previously you and your wife were questioning so much. So in order to avoid that kind of misunderstanding, I'll give you some important knowledge, which is the core subject matter of the Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga practitioners. So what is that? So in the beginning, Lord Sankarsana said that Lord Sankarsana states that uh, there are two different variety of things. Some things are permanent, sorry, real. Something are unreal. Among the real, there are two things: permanent. Something are permanent. Something are temporary. The permanent real things are Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and Vaikuntha Vasis. The temporary real things are the material world and all the conditioned souls who are living in the material world. Then, experienced unreal objects are the objects of the dream. They are experienced, but they are not real. And also the objects of magic show. Then, unexperienced unreal objects are the objects of daydreaming and the objects like rabbit horn and flowers in the sky, etc. etc. So basically, the idea is to inform us that these are the different variety of things we see around in the material world and the spiritual world all over. So then Lord Sankarsana is saying that wherever one may be in the fourth state, third state, or second state, the purpose of human life is to come to first state, to be with Bhagavan in the Vaikuntha, or to be with Brahman in Brahmajyoti. According to some people, should be there. In any case, so then Lord Sankarsana explains the meaning of all these things. He takes an example of a dream. In the dream, we see some objects, we experience them. But when we come out of the dream, we understand that the objects are not real, the objects are at a distant place, and I am at a distant place. I'm at a different place. Similarly, just like we experience some illusory objects in the dream, similarly, whatever objects we experience in this world throughout the daytime, we should accept them as illusory. Because the objects in the dream are created by the mind, and the objects in the material world are created by Maya. So as the result of that, they should be considered as illusory or unreal objects. And then what do you mean by that? Then he gives an example of the daytime you experience all these objects. In the night time, in the dream state, you experience some objects which are created by the mind. And but only in deep sleep state, we do not identify with daytime objects or night dream time objects. we forget who we really are, and we identify ourselves with the soul, and that is where one can experience the happiness, a glimpse of happiness of Brahman. How and why one is getting this? One is getting this by the mercy of Paramatma. It is by the mercy of Paramatma we are experiencing the objects during daytime. It is by the mercy of the Paramatma we are experiencing different objects during our dream time. Similarly, by the mercy of the same Paramatma, we can experience a kind of an iota of Brahmananda during deep sleep. Thus, it is understood that there is Paramatma in all three different states. So then, there is Paramatma who is making someone to experience something during daytime, during nighttime, during deep sleep. Who is that someone? Is he Paramatma? Then Lord Sankarsana says, no. That person who is experiencing during daytime, during dream time, during deep sleep time, by the influence of Paramatma or by the empowerment of Paramatma is known as Jivatma. And that Jivatma is separate from Paramatma. Ena prasupta purushaha swapam vedatmanastada sukam cha nirgunam brahmam tam atmanam avehimam. Know the Paramatma by whom the sleeping person knows his sleeping condition, and in deep sleep is able to know the happiness of Brahman without objects or qualities. So it is by the mercy of the Paramatma. One is experiencing the objects during daytime, the objects during the dream, and also a kind of happiness of Brahman without any objects and without any qualities during the deep sleep time. Everything is happening by the mercy of Paramatma. And that Paramatma is known sometimes as Brahman, sometimes as Bhagavan, but these three are not different. These three are same only. It is the sadhaka who sees him as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan at different times because of one's sadhana, differences in one's sadhana. Otherwise, he himself is a single person. So this is where we stopped, and now there are different distinctions among the experiencer, among the jiva. Based on what he experiences, he gets a different identity, and that is described in the next verse. So we'll continue. Ubayam smarataha pumshaha
Ubayam smarataha pumsaha
prashvapa pratibodhayo
prasvapa pratibodhayo
अन्वेति व्यतिरिच्येता तद्
अन्वेति व्यतिरिच्येत
तज्ज्ञानं ब्रह्म तत्परम्.
तज्ज्ञानं ब्रह्म तत्परम्. If one's dreams during sleep are merely subject matters witnessed by the supersoul, how can the living entity who is different from the supersoul remember the activities of dreams? The experience of one person cannot be understood by another. Therefore, the knower of the facts, the living entity who inquires into the incidents manifested in dreams and wakefulness, is different from the circumstantial activity. That knowing factor is Brahman. In other words, the quality of knowing belongs to the living entities and to the supreme soul. Thus, the living entity can also experience the activities of dreams and wakefulness. In both stages, the knower is unchanged, but is qualitatively one with the Supreme Brahman.
Yeah, here the experiencer is discussed. That which remains during the waking and during the deep sleep states of the person observing those states, and which is different from them is the Jiva. It is a Jiva who is different from is dreaming state and deep sleep state and waking state, experiences the objects during that waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states. And superior to that Jiva is Brahman. It is by the Brahman or Paramatma or Bhagavan's mercy enables the Jiva to go through the three kinds of experiences. One experience is during the daytime while one is awake, one experience during the sleeping time while one is dreaming, the third experience is during the deep sleep, a glimpse of Brahmananda. All these are given by the mercy of Paramatma. Even during daytime also, Sarvasya Chaha Mriti Sannivishto Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Our Smriti, Jnanam, Apohanam, everything is given by Paramatma only. So, in that way. How does the person in waking state remember what was observed by the witness during sleep and thus say, I slept happily? So somebody is asking question. Somebody who is going through deep sleep after waking up, he says, I have gone through deep sleep. But you said that he already disconnected from the gross body and subtle body. So how can you say that he has that experience of going through deep sleep? Who is going through deep sleep? Who is sleeping happily? One person cannot remember what was experienced by another person. And he says that just like in Bhagavad Gita, Aham vai sarvabhutani bhutatma bhutabhavana. No, not that. That is here only. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. So Paramatma, Lord Krishna says that there is one kshetra, one kshetrajna, and I am there, the Paramatma kshetrajna of each and every living entity. Kshetrajna is the knower of kshetra, and Lord Krishna is known as Sarva kshetrajna. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetrajna chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Know that I am also kshetrajna of all the living entities. It is only Paramatma knows about everyone, but one living entity does not know about other living entity. That which is present during the deep sleep and waking states of the man who investigates those states and which is different from them, which continues while these states appear and disappear, is the same Jiva. Though one Jiva may not know the experience of other Jiva, but certainly one Jiva should know the experience of himself under three different states. And hence, after waking up, that Jiva will tell that I have gone through very beautiful sleep, very nice sleep. Like that, one can say about oneself, but somebody else cannot say for other persons. It is the same person, it is the same Atma who is acting as a witness during the daytime, who is acting as a witness during dream time, sleeping time, who is also acting as a witness during deep sleep time also. So the Jiva can have this experience. Just as one remembers during youth what was seen during childhood. That means when a person is youth, even though some things which he has seen in the childhood, he still remember them. May not be everything, but some important things. Even though the conditions are different. Similarly, one remember the bliss of deep sleep and waking. Similarly, even though one may not remember everything and every time the experience what one go through deep sleep, but some important things, especially when one gets deep sleep, one actually remembers it for long. So in that way, the so superior to this Jiva who is going through all these experiences is Brahman. Thus the Jiva is not the Brahman. Though the Jiva is also the Lord because of being a Tatastha Shakti, the Jiva does not belong to Lord Swarupa Shakti. Thus it is different from Brahman. So the understanding is it is the Jiva who is going through all these different experiences. And that Jiva is not Brahman. Brahman is different from Jivatma. And then, even though one may say that qualitatively the Jivatma and Brahman are one. Yes, qualitatively the Jivatma and Brahman are one because the Jivatma belonging to Tatastha Shakti. Since the Jiva does not belong to Lord Swarupa Shakti, that kind of jiva is considered to be separate from Brahman. So first of all, jiva is not Brahman. And even if somebody says, no, jiva and Brahman are the same, qualitatively same. So even though, because jiva is an expansion of Lord Tata Shakti, in that way is qualitatively same with Brahman, but this jiva who is conditioned in the material world, who is going through all these, who is only focused on daytime experience and dream experiences, such kind of jiva is considered to be conditioned soul, and he cannot be considered same as Brahman or Bhagavan in that sense. So this is one category of jiva who is definitely considered separate from the Supreme Lord. That is conditioned soul who is going through, whose only goal of life is to go through daytime experiences and nighttime experiences.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Guruji, actually, I have not understood this properly because here it is said now that how does the person in the waking state remember what was observed by the witness during sleep? So, who is the witness, Prabhuji?
Atma
Paramatma.
is Atma is always witness.
So,
During the daytime
Atma,
also Atma is witness. During dream also Atma is witness. Even in deep sleep also Atma is always witness.
Atma is the experiencer of that state now, Prabhuji. Like he is undergoing that state now.
Hmm. Now tell me, who is experiencing? We have
Because
discussed it many
means
times.
when we say that I sleep deep, I had a deep sleep like
Hmm.
that. So means I means who? The soul only, na Prabhuji. Means I know that soul will not sleep. The body sleeps. But the
Hmm.
experience is experienced by the soul, na Prabhuji.
Yes, it is the soul who want to experience something in this material world. Actually, soul is looking for ananda, and the body is providing certain kind of diluted type of ananda.
So when we say witness, witness is somebody who is not the part of that experience. He just witnessing the whole scene like that. So soul is the experiencer also and witnesser also. That is what it means.
So actually, see, this is one philosophical thing, especially in the matter of jnana. It is explained like this: the soul, in its constitutional position, is completely spiritual, and soul has nothing to do with anything material. But still, when the soul comes to material world, a material body is given, though it is completely opposite in its characteristics, because body is matter, soul is spirit. But still, when the soul is residing in the body, the soul identifies with the body, and because of that identity, whatever is being done by the body, the soul says, I am doing all these things. But actually, every activity is being done by the body, the soul is simply a witness. In Bhagavad Gita, there was one verse: Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma karta aham iti mannati. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. Whatever activities we do, all these activities are done by Prakriti, or we can say the 24 byproducts produced from Prakriti, which coming together formed this human body, that is actually performing all the activities. Only a ahankari means a person who falsely identifies with the body says that I am doing all these activities. But actually, soul does not do anything. It is actually the sakshi of for all the activities being done by the body.
Okay, so means in this condition, the at the level of false ego being soul identifying as body, that
Hmm.
false ego level, that false ego level, he is the experiencer of that state of the deep sleep.
Yes,
And as
yes,
a
yes,
pure
yes.
soul, he is a witness of that tips. That
Perfect,
is that
perfect.
okay.
Because of our conditioned nature, we go through experiences and we say that I am experiencing. But in reality, from Tattva point of view, soul never experiences anything. Soul always remains Sakshi from Tattva point of view.
Okay. Means as the Paramatma is Sakshi, the in pure state, the soul is also the Sakshi actually. But
Yes,
when
yes.
he identifies at the level of false ego, that time he is the experiencer of all the situation, whether in the dream or in the
Hmm.
waking.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes, Nandi.
And Prabhuji, one more thing. Uh, this it is said in the next para, Prabhuji, that which is present during the deep sleep and waking states
Hmm.
of the mind, who investigates those states and which is
Hmm.
different from them, which
Hmm.
continues while these states appear and disappear, is the jiva. Means that the pure soul state. That's what it is meant. No?
Because in the daytime, the gross body, subtle body, and Jivatma, three of them are completely united with each other. And during the sleep time, one forgets the gross body. The Jivatma and the subtle body are united. And the mind will produce a different gross body. That is the dream gross body. We go through a dream. In the dream, we identify ourselves as a bird or as a person who is chased after by a tiger or something like that. In that dream, we also have a gross body, but that gross body is different from the current gross body. So there is a connection with some other gross body, which is a imaginary gross body imagined by the mind. And then in the deep sleep, there is no connection with the gross body, the real gross body, or the dream gross body, or even the subtle body, which is there in both the states. That means in the deep sleep, only soul remains aloof from gross body and subtle body.
Prabhuji, here also there is one more confusion. Like when we say in a waking state, when we say gross body, it is
Hmm.
made of five elements. Right?
Hmm.
We say
Hmm.
gross because we can see it, we can perceive it, we can experience it. Right?
Hmm.
But when we are saying in the dream state, soul through the agency of mind acquires another gross body.
Hmm.
So that gross body which we are referring to is made of what, Prabhuji? Because we say it
It,
as a
it is
different
it is
body.
illusory. It does not have any real, in the sense, physical substance. It is created by the mind. That's why it is said, na, the dream experiences are unreal but experienced. You go through it, but it has no real existence. That means the dream objects have no real physical existence. They are simply created by the mind. That means that is only a virtual world. It is not a real world.
Okay. So it's
But
just an image.
as long as you are in the dream, you go through the experience. You will have the experience within the mind.
Yeah.
But there is no existence of the dream objects. They are all like a creation of magic. In the magic, you may create so many things. But when the magic show is over, you can't see them. And it is not that magician is actually showing them and taking them away.
Okay. So
Hmm.
the term what we say gross another gross body in the dream itself is illusory because that body itself is
That is not real. That is illusory.
and here the last thing, sorry Prabhuji, but here the last thing which is mentioned now that Jiva is not Brahman. Though the
Hmm.
Jiva is also the Lord because of being his Tatastha Shakti. The
Hmm.
Jiva does not belong to the Lord Swarup Shakti, thus it is different from Brahman. So
Hmm.
it is understood that Jiva is not the Lord because he's the minute particle and he's the part of Tatastha Shakti. But does
Hmm.
it mean, Praviji, that those who are part of the Lord Swarupa Shakti, they
Hmm.
are those all those are equal to the Lord, like Because here the
That
statement is same.
will be established in the next verse. Yes, those jivas who are an expansion of Tatastha Shakti, but among them, some identify with the material body. They are absolutely considered separate from the Brahman. But some are self-realized. Okay?
Yeah.
Some conditioned soul, by the practice of some sadhana, become self-realized. They are considered real, but on the Tatastha platform. And some people have gone back to Godhead, and they are living with Mahavishnu, our Supreme Lord. And since they entered into the purview of Yogamaya, they are considered as an object belonging to Lord Swarupa Shakti, because they are situated within the purview of Yogamaya, and they are considered almost one with the Lord.
Okay.
So that is being established in the next verse.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
That's what I said, na? There is Jiva, but Jiva in different natures will get an identity. Currently, the Jiva is only interested in daytime and dreamtime experiences. That Jiva is called as completely conditioned Jiva and is nowhere considered equal with Brahman. Equal means not one and one, similarity, similar in constitutional position. So in that way.
Okay. Means all they will have that same form as the Lord, and they will be having
Ah,
quality.
same form and same bhava. Same bhava.
Okay, understood.
Same bhava
Thanks.
means spiritual feeling. Now currently we have a material feeling. If somebody asks me who are you, I say my name is Pavaneshwar Das or Pandu Santoju. Because my normal identity is restricted to my body only as of now.
Yes. Means those jivas under the influence of Swarupa Shakti, they will have qualities much more similar to the Lord. Means they will be much nearer to the Lord rather than those who are in the Tatastha Shakti. They
Yes,
are
yes,
very mindful, like spark of fire.
yes, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Just regarding the same question. So those who are Golokvasis, they are the eternal, who are the eternal associates of the Lord. They are Swarup Shakti.
Yes.
And also the
Anyone in Vaikuntha,
Vaikuntha-vasis.
anyone in Goloka, even Vaikuntha also, they
Okay.
are Swarupa Shakti.
Okay.
They are under Swarupa
Right.
Shakti. Because they consider, I am Vishnu's, I belong to Vishnu and Vishnu belongs to me. They don't have any separate identity. If somebody has a separate identity, they can be taken out of Vaikuntha.
Okay.
As long as somebody does not have any separate identity, they are under Swarupa Shakti and they are considered on the same level as the Supreme Lord as permanent real object.
Yes, Prabhuji. Good.
Otherwise, a conditioned jiva is considered as temporary real object. Jiva is real, but his existence is temporary because I am identifying with this human body. The time of this human body is only some 60, 70 years at max. Afterwards, my identity will change to something else. So in that way.
Thank you.
Other devotees, anybody else has any question? Okay, we'll go ahead. To think that the Brahman and the Jiva are one is an offense and the cause of obstacle that is expressed in this verse. Whoever thinks that, oh, I and Brahman are same, there is a big problem. There is no more spiritual progress afterwards. Yadetad vishmrutam pumsho
Yad etad vismritam pumshu
madbhavam binnamatmanaha
madbhavam bhinnamatmanah
tata samsara etasya
tatah samsara etasya
deha deho mruter mrutihi.
Deha deho mriter pritihi. When a living entity, thinking himself different from me, forgets his spiritual identity of qualitative oneness with me in eternity, knowledge, and bliss, his material conditional life begins. In other words, instead of identifying with interest with mind, he becomes interested in his bodily expansions like his wife, children, and material possessions. In this way, by the influence of his actions, one body comes from another, and after one death, another death takes place.
Based on our material identity, we remain here in this material world, life after life. That is what is indicated here. A person who forgets that my Swarupa is different from the Jiva continues in samsara, taking body after body, death after death. So even one forget the Brahman completely, also one continues in samsara. Even if one makes a mistake that Brahman and Jivatma are both are same, that person also continues in the material world. So in that way, my Swarupa is different from Jiva. The Jiva, if the Jiva forgets this and thinks he is identical with me, then because of this, such a person will end up in Sara. With material identity also one continues in the material world. Even with spiritual aparada also one continues in the material world. Samsara is described. It is nothing but getting one body after another body or getting one death after another death. Thus, one can think of oneness of the Jiva and Brahman like the oneness of the sun and its rays. Since Jiva is the same by being the Lord's Tattva Shakti. So, but somebody may ask that, or you mean to say that Jiva and Brahman are completely different? Not like that. Based on Achintya Veda Veda, they are qualitatively one, quantitatively different. The example is like that of sun and sun rays, like that. That is the meaning of Tattvamasi. You are the Brahman. As well, temporary objects of the universe are also one with Brahman since they are products of the Lord's material Shakti. The conditioned souls since they are expansion of Rasa Shakti and the material world since it is an expansion of Bahiranga Shakti are also sometimes equated with the Lord because the material world's source Bahiranga Shakti and conditioned source Tadasa Shakti both are the energies of the Supreme Lord. Since they are expansion of Lord's energies, sometimes as per the need of the hour, they are said to be same as the Lord, but they are not. See, because they are not expansion of Lord's Swarupa Shakti. Even though from the practical ground, sometimes they are told to, but they are not. Actually, they are not the Lord because they are expansion of Lord's external energies. Because they are expansion of Lord's external energies, not the expansion of Lord's internal energy. Only those things which are expansion of Lord's internal energy should be considered on the same level of the Supreme Lord. Other things should be distinguished from the Supreme Lord. This distinction should be understood. Otherwise, if in the condition should identify oneself with the Supreme Lord, that is a big offense. That offense continues in this material world. That's what na Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Mayavadi Krishna Aparadi. So they are offensive to Lord Krishna. Mayavada Bhashashanlo Vai Sarvanash. If somebody hears the Bhashya of Mayavada, who says everything is one is completely doomed. One continues to stay in this samsara only, as it is said in this verse. So thus, though the material world is one with the Lord, it is different because it does not arise from the Swarupa Shakti of the Supreme Lord. This causes it to be destructible. So because the material world is an expansion of Lord's Maya Shakti, it goes through creation, maintenance, and destruction. But something that is produced from Lord's uh, Chish Shakti or Swarup Shakti does not go through creation, maintenance, and destruction. Even though it appears and disappears time and again, it does not forget about its constitutional position. Like Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ajopi san aveyatma bhutanam ishvara san prakriti swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. So in that verse, I think Lord Krishna is saying that, so my dear Arjuna, even though I am unborn, I take birth again and again because by my internal potency, by the influence of my internal potency, not being pushed by karma. Then uske pehle Lord Krishna was saying that bahuni me vetitani janmani tavacha Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, both you and me appeared multiple times. Tani ham veda sarvani nattam veta parantapa. I do remember all of them, but you don't remember. In one sense, I mean, I'm not saying Arjuna is a conditioned soul like that, but just to help us understand, one who is situated in Sarupa Shakti, even though one may be appearing and disappearing again and again in this material world, but one does not forget about one's constitutional nature. Just like Lord says that, both you and me appeared multiple times, but you forget all those things, I remember all those things. So like that, something like that. That is the nature of Sarupa Shakti. It will never allow us to forget. So that is some categorization. But in any case, anything that is produced from Tatastha Shakti and Bahiranga Shakti and which have a different identity are considered to be temporary real because they are not under the purview of the Sarupa Shakti. And anything which is within the Sarupa Shakti purview can be considered as permanent real. So that is what is indicated. When a conditioned soul become permanent real, gradual progression. Currently, identifying with the material body is temporary real. Then next state. Since the pure jiva is included among the permanent real objects, because that jiva is not destructible. It is also one with the Lord since it is Lord Tatastha Shakti. But it does not arise from the Lord's Swarupa. So here one more condition. A jiva has become pure by the practice of Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. One had come to Jivan Mukta platform. What was that verse? Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshi samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktin labate pram. He has come to Brahmabhuta platform. He is no more identified with the material matter. So he cannot be called as a conditioned soul. He is a purified jiva. But still, he has not yet entered into Lord Swarupa Shakti. Thus, he still has a distinction separate from the Lord's Swarupa Shakti. Even though he is pure, even though he is on Brahma Bhuta platform, but still he cannot be considered as permanent real. He cannot be considered as permanent real because he has not entered into Swarupa Shakti. That means he has not entered into Vaikuntha. So it's like that. He is a Jivan Mukta platform. Then what are the permanent objects? The permanent objects are Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. However, are one because they are one Swarupa. Though we may call Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan with different names, but they are all one. They are all considered to be one Swarupa only. Because the forms of the associates of Bhagavan arise from the actions of the Shakti, Lord Swarupa Shakti. Those associates who are Nityasiddha are also permanent objects, which are the Lord Swarupa. The Lord's eternal associates and the Nityasiddha Bhaktas are considered to be permanently real, same as the Supreme Lord. So, till now we have three categories. One is Baddha Jiva. Second one is Baddha Jiva. Second one is Jivan Mukta. The third one is Nitya Siddha Bhakta, Vaikuntha Vasi, or Lord's eternal associate. So Nitya Siddha Bhakta is considered to be completely permanent real. Baddha Jiva is considered as temporary real. And Jivan Mukta, though we can consider him as permanent real, but still he cannot be identified as one with the Supreme Lord because he has not yet entered into Swarupa Shakti. So this is how the distinction is there. And then fourth category, and some jivas with a desire for dasya and other relationships who have perfected themselves by pure bhakti or by the mercy of Nityamukta Bhaktas. That means sadhana siddhas or krupa siddhas. By practice or sadhana siddhas, by mercy or krupa siddhas are included among the eternal associates of dasas. They are also considered to be non-different from the Swarupa of the Lord, since they are empowered by the Swarupa Shakti. So one is Jivan Mukta, but not yet entered into Vaikuntha. They cannot be considered as part of Lord Swarupa Shakti. But if they enter into Vaikuntha by becoming Nitya or Sadhana Siddhas or Krupa Siddhas, then they can be considered as permanent real, same as that of Nitya Bhaktas. And then next, perfected themselves by mixed bhakti. Those jivas who have perfected themselves by mixed bhakti become Shanta Bhaktas and are not empowered by the Lord Swarupa Shakti, since they are not included among the dasas or other associates. They are also eternal objects, but not part of the Lord's Swarupa. So this says that the mixed bhaktas means those who are practicing Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, so they enter into Brahman because they want to remain in Brahman. So they can be called as Shanta Bhaktas. They want to be in the neutral state. Because they have not actively entered into Vaikuntha, still they are still remain in Brahman platform. They are considered as permanent real, but they cannot be considered part of Lord Swarupa. So these are the five distinctions. One is in the material world called conditioned jiva, temporary real. One is Jivan Mukta, can be called as permanent real, but not part of Lord Swarupa Shakti. The third one, who is in Brahman, can also be called as permanent real, but not part of Swarupa Shakti. And the fourth one is who entered Vaikuntha by the practice of sadhana or by the mercy of some great souls. Because they entered into Vaikuntha, they become part of Yogamaya, Chit Shakti. They are permanent real and they can be considered part of Lord Swarupa Shakti. And the fourth one, Lord's eternal associates. He is Nityasiddhas. Even though they come to material world, they are never considered to be conditioned jivas. Such kind of jivas are always considered to be the eternal permanent real and then part of Swarup Shakti. So these are different distinctions one should understand because this knowledge should be known. That's why Lord Sankarsana is giving all this knowledge to our King Citraketu, who has become king of Vidyadharas, so that he will never have any doubt about anything. Complete and proper Sambandha Jnana, Lord Sankarsana is giving to Citraketu Maharaj. So five distinct places of Jivatma. And Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan are always in one category. They only have one state of existence.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, tell me.
Prabhuji, how this distinction we are making now since long, like it has been given that permanent real, temporary real, and that gradation, like. So how exactly it helps means application for this?
Because we should know where we are and where we should go. If somebody asks, What is your state of consciousness? How do you define that state of consciousness?
State of consciousness.
Or state of existence?
Okay. Yeah. Then we can take help of this.
If I know that I am a jivatma, but I am engaged by a material body, that means jivatma is real or eternal, but since jivatma is encaged or covered by the material body which is temporary, my current state is temporary real.
Temporary real, yeah.
If somebody does not even know that one is jivatma, so one says I'm a human being, I'm leading a human life. तो मरने के बाद किसको पता है? जानने की जरूरत नहीं.
And if we know that we are at the stage of temporary real, and then we know the goal that we have to reach at the stage of permanent real, then we know how much distance where we have to go.
From temporary real to permanent real, there are 5 stages. One is completely conditioned state. Second one is Jivan Mukta state. Third one is Sayujya Mukti. Fourth one is Sadhana Siddhas, Krupa Siddhas. And the fifth one is Niti Siddhas.
Okay. And Prabhuji, this Swarupa Shakti is same as internal energy.
Yogamaya. Swarupa Shakti means Yogamaya.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So these are all typical attributes of that knowledge. So devotees may not be so much discussing all these topics, but the jnanis and yogis, this is their bread and butter. This discussion is their main topic of discussion. They are always after this kind of discussion. So because since it is in the Bhagavatam, we are also discussing. So we'll go ahead. Labdveha manushim yonim. Hare Krishna, someone.
Labveham manushim yonim.
Jnana vijnana sambhavam.
Jnana vijnana sambhavam.
Atmanam yona buddhyeta.
Atmanam yona buddhyeta.
Na kvachit kshemam apnuyat.
Na kvachit kshemam apnuyat. A human being can attain perfection in life by self-realization through the Vedic literature and its practical application. This is possible especially for a human being born in India, the land of piety. A man who obtains birth in such a convenient position but does not understand his self is unable to achieve the highest perfection, even if he is exalted to life in the higher planetary system.
Having achieved human birth in which scriptural knowledge and direct perception of the Lord are possible, a person who does not understand about the Jiva and the Supreme Lord does not attain any benefit at all from that birth. So Lord Sankarsana says that having attained human life, wherein one can realize oneself and one can realize the Supreme Lord, if one does not make an endeavor, such kind of birth is no meaningful. Like that Lord Sankarsana is telling. One must strive for such knowledge. Jnanam here refers to the knowledge arising from scriptures. Vijnanam means direct realization of the Supreme Lord. Both Jnana and Vijnana are possible in human birth. Jnana means, so the Vijnana means direct experience of Supreme Lord. Both are possible in human birth. Atmanam here means the Jiva and the Supreme Lord. It's like that. That means a human life is more suitable life to realize oneself and to realize the Supreme Lord. If one does not make an endeavor in the direction, one is wasting one's human life. That's how Sankarsana, Lord Sankarsana is stating. Mrutvehaayam pariklesham
मृत्वेहायां परिक्लेशम्
ततः फलविपर्ययम्
ततः फलविपर्ययम्
अभयं चापि अनीहायाम्
अभयं चापि अनीहायाम्
संकल्पाद्विरमेत् क्वचि कवि.
संकल्पाद् विरमेत् कविः. Remembering the great trouble found in the field of activities performed for fruitive results, and remembering how one receives the reverse of the results one desires, whether from material actions or from fruitive activities recommended in the Vedic literatures, an intelligent man should cease from the desire for fruitive actions. For by such endeavors, one cannot achieve the ultimate goal of life. On the other hand, if one acts without desires for fruitive results, in other words, if one engages in devotional activities, he can achieve the highest goal of life with freedom from miserable conditions. Considering this, one should cease from material desires.
Yeah. Remembering the misery produced from actions caused by material desires, which brings an opposite result, and remembering a condition without fear from action without material desire, the wise man should give up determination to enjoy in this world. So basically, an activity performed with material desire leads to misery. An activity performed without any material desire will not lead to misery. Understanding this, a wise person should give up determination to enjoy in this material world. A person desiring this knowledge, understanding that karma brings results now and in the future, should give up faith in karma. Ihaya means endeavoring with desire for enjoyment. Anihaya means acting without material desires. Abhaya means no fear in any circumstances. So basically, the understanding is that anyone, whoever performs any activity with some material impetus, one may get immediate happiness, but eventually one gets a lot of misery only in this material world. Therefore, perform all the activities without any material desire. Then one does not go through any miseries. But if one performs all the active service to Supreme Lord, one can go back home back to Godhead. This is how one has to understand like that. Lord Sankarsana is telling. Instead of abhayam, some versions have no bhayam. But then the meaning is remembering action without desire, which does not produce. Remembering action without desire, which does not produce material suffering or enjoyment, one should perform such kind of activities. Basically, one should perform those activities which neither produce material happiness nor produce material distress. That means one should perform spiritual activities which does not give any material desires. So that is the hint given by Lord Sankarsana. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, karma, vikarma and akarma. Karma gives pious results, vikarma gives sinful results, and akarma does not give neither pious nor in impious results. Akarma is considered to be bhakti. So that should be done like that. Sukaya dukkha mokshaya
Sukhaya dukkha mokshaya
kurvate dampati kriya
kurvate dampati kriya
tato nivrittira apraptir
tato anivritte aprapte
dukkasya cha sukasya cha.
dukkasya cha sukhasya cha. As husband and wife, a man
Mataji,
and
we are
woman.
not able to hear your voice.
Okay. Prabhuji, then I think Hare Krishna. Am I audible now? Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, I
Now
can
you
hear
are audible.
Mataji quite well.
Okay. As husband and wife, a man and woman plan together to attain happiness and decrease unhappiness. Working jointly in many ways, But because their activities are full of desires, these activities are never a source of happiness and they never diminish distress. On the contrary, they are a cause of great unhappiness. Hare Krishna.
So in this verse, Lord Sankarsana is saying that a man and woman get married to each other for the a man and woman get married to each other for the purpose of getting sukha and removing dukkha. Dukkha mokshaya, getting freedom from dukkha. Husband and wife perform actions to produce happiness and to destroy misery. But there is no cessation of suffering and no attainment of happiness. Tato nivrittir apraptir dukkasya cha sukhasya cha. Because in relation to our not what is it, King Citraketu. Citraketu was marrying again and again in order to get a child, and he thought that if I get a child, I become free from misery and I get happiness. So Lord says that every time hoping that you will become free from misery and get happiness, you are marrying, but every marriage increased only your misery, but it never gave you happiness and it never removed your previous misery. So in that way, Lord Sankarsana is telling to him what he did accordingly is just telling. So you thought like that, but that will not happen in this material world. Like that is telling. एवं विपर्ययं बुद्ध्वा
एवं विपर्ययं बुद्ध्वा
नृणं विज्ञाभिमानिनाम्
नृणां विज्ञाभिमानिनाम्
आत्मानश्च गतिं सूक्ष्मम्
आत्मानश्च गतिं सूक्ष्माम्
स्थानत्रयविलक्षणाम्
स्थानत्रयविलक्षणाम्
दृष्टश्रुताभिर्मात्राभिर्
दृष्टश्रुताभिर्मात्राभिः
निर्मुक्तः से स्वेन तेजसा
निर्मुक्तः स्वेन तेजसा
ज्ञानविज्ञानसंतृप्तो
ज्ञानविज्ञानसन्तृप्तो
मद्भक्तः पुरुषो भवेत्.
मद्भक्तः पुरुषो भवेत्. One should understand that the activities of a person who are proud of their material experience bring only results contradictory to those each person's conceive while awake, sleeping, and deeply sleeping. One should further understand that the spirit soul, although very difficult for the materialist to perceive, is above all these conditions. And by the strength of one's discrimination, one should give up the desire for fruitive results in the present life and in the next. Thus, becoming experience in transcendental knowledge, one should become my devotee.
Yeah. Understanding the attainment of opposite results for a state of spiritual realization beyond the states of waking, sleeping, and deep sleep, freeing oneself from all sense objects as seen and heard, and being satisfied with scriptural knowledge and realization by one's sadhana, one should become my devotee. Here, Lord Sankarsana is telling that, so my dear friend, you are trying to become happy by begetting a child after every marriage, but that did not happen. Understand this, that the karma, though we may expecting some results, we may execute some karma, but karma ultimately leads to opposite results. Therefore, give up executing karma and take up those endeavors which leads to self-realization. Thus, free oneself from all sense objects seen and heard, and being satisfied with such spiritual knowledge and realization of by one's own sadhana, one should become my devotee. So, as long as one is in the material world, one should not be after karma and karma's results. Instead, one should be after the science of self-realization. Dharmasya apavargasya na artho artaya upakalpate. Dharma should be executed for the purpose of attaining apavarga. That means one should engage in Bhagavad Dharma which leads to apavarga. Not that one should engage in material Dharma which will bring one artha and kama. Not for that. That is the understanding. Stanatraya Vilakshana means the fourth state of spiritualization. Turiya. Matrabhi means from sense objects. Swatejasa means by one's own sadhana. So, in that way, this is how it is to be understood. So, basically, Lord Kapila is telling, Lord Sankarsana is telling that please practice bhakti with this knowledge. Understand this knowledge and practice bhakti, and hence you will come to me. So like that. Hare Krishna, any questions till now from the devotees?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
In this translation, that fourth sentence, the fourth line, that results contrary to those such persons conceive while awake, sleeping, and deeply sleeping. So, what is the meaning of that part?
See, basically, the activities that we do during daytime, nighttime, and deep sleep, all these activities generally considered to be karmic activities. And normally, karmic activities in general give us opposite results than what we expect.
Even in deep sleep, Prabhuji, we are not performing any activity, or we are not even seeing we ourselves perform some activity in deep sleep. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
We can't hear you.
Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji cannot hear us. Hear us. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think Prabhuji cannot hear us.
I'm not able to see the slide also now.
I'm seeing the slide, but Prabhuji's voice is completely gone. But
I
he's
think
there.
Yeah, I can see him.
He's there online.
With poor
Yeah.
network. Because I am also able to see the slide, but voice.
Voice is gone.
Maybe from my side. Anyway, thank you.
Can we message and tell Prabhuji that we cannot hear him? From
Yes,
this,
I will take it.
yeah. He's muted, Prabhu, just now.
Now will be able to hear me. Hare Krishna, now devotees are able to hear me.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
but your voice is broken.
now we can see the slides.
Krishna, I am speaking now. Could hear me?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji, but
Krishna.
your voice is...
Voice is not clear.
Yeah, now
Yeah, now
We
it
can
is
hear,
better.
we can hear you, Prabhuji. No.
I'm sorry because I am in a different place. Till now I was using the office Wi-Fi. Now I am using mobile data. Uh, yeah. Okay, you are asking some question, Mataji. Please, Shweta Ganga Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I was just wondering, like, contrary
Hare Krishna.
to... Yes, Prabhuji,
Uh-huh.
you can hear me, no? So in the first sentence, it is written that one should understand
Yes,
that
yes.
the activities of persons who are proud of their material experience those activities bring only results which are contradictory to those results in which such persons conceive while awake, sleeping, and deeply speaking. I think I'm understanding, Prabhuji, means results of wakefulness, results of sleeping and dreaming, and probably results of feeling that elated feeling in deep sleep also, maybe, after deep sleep.
See,
Even they bring miseries.
basically, even one may go through deep sleep. Still, the next day morning when one wake up, one's life doesn't change. It will not change. Life will be same.
Yes.
Unless until one is liberated, one's life does not change.
Yes.
So, even though sometimes one may go through deep sleep, one still is considered to be a karmi or a conditioned soul. Such kind of karmi lifestyle should be kept away. Like that is understanding here.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
here it's
Mataji.
mentioned now that the mixed devotees like Jnana Mishra Bhaktas or those, they will attend the Shantarati kind of a thing. The previous verse it was
Shantarati means Sayajya Mukti.
Sayajya Mukti, yeah. So means those who are only jnanis without a tinge of bhakti, or those who are only yogis, they will also attend Sayajya Mukti, and those who are
No.
means
They will never attend Sayajya Mukti. If somebody who is practicing without a tinge of bhakti, they will not attend anything.
okay. So to get Sayajya also, there has to be some amount of some tinge of bhakti at least in jnana or this. Otherwise, they will not get
No,
that.
there is bhakti required, not some tinge. Actually, good amount of bhakti is required. Bhagavad Gita shlokas. You are, I mean, of course, we discussed many times. You think. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. The meaning of this verse is either by practicing of Bhakti Mishra Jnana or by practicing some Samadhi platform. Okay? That is the pinnacle of mode of goodness. By the practice of Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga mixed with Bhakti, one will come to the point of the pinnacle of Sattva-guna. And that state is called a Jivan Mukta platform or Brahmabhuta platform. Then what one has to do? One has to give up one's Jnana, one has to give up one's yoga, then one has to give up mode of goodness, then step into Nirguna. When one enters into Nirguna, now one is left with Bhakti. Till now, one was practicing Bhakti plus Jnana and Bhakti plus Yoga. As a result of that, one has come to the topmost point of Sattva-guna. So now one is what one is giving up? One is giving up Sattva-guna, one is giving up Jnana, one is giving up Ashtanga. one entering into Nirguna along with Bhakti. So now one has to practice Bhakti alone in Nirguna platform. What is that? Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Yavan ya chasmi tattvataha. Till the time one realizes the Supreme Lord completely, one need to practice that Nirguna Bhakti alone or Bhakti alone in that Nirguna platform. And what one understands? Tato mam tattvato jnatva. Some people understand me as Tat, some other people understand me as Mam. Understand and realize also. And then Tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadantaram. Then they will enter into me. Those who understand Tat, they will enter into Brahman. Who will understand Mam, they will enter into Vaikunta. But even Bhakti Mishra Jnanis and Bhakti Mishra Yogis also can enter into Vaikunta if they want, but they generally enter into Vaikunta and they remain as Sarishti or Salokya Muktas. Because they are not so much interested in the direct service of the Supreme Lord, they stay at a far distant place in the same Kunta planet at a distant place. So like that. That is the understanding from Bhagavad Gita.
So that means to enter into the Brahman also, like Sayuja Mukti, what we say, they have to leave the part of Jnana, what they are practicing, and come to a platform of Bhakti, then only they will achieve. But then
Ananya Bhakti. That time it is
Ananya,
called Ananya Bhakti, not Nirguna Bhakti. It has no contamination of karma, jnana, yoga at that time.
okay. But sir, Prabhuji, what about those Jnanis we say now, like they use Bhakti as a means, but not the goal. So even if
Who
they
who are those?
understand,
Who are those? Who are those?
that's what I'm trying to understand. When we discuss that thing about whom, like who are they, which category?
If they are Mayavadis, they will not attain anything. If they are Brahmavadis, they will attain Brahman. Even though they are using Bhakti as means and Bhakti as not goal, here Bhakti means service. Serving the Lord in person. If we are defining Bhakti like that, so they use that Bhakti, that means direct service of the Lord as a means to attain Brahman. Even after going to Brahman also, what they are doing there? They are doing Smaranam only. After entering into Saija, what that liberated souls will do is all Smaranam only. They sit in yoga posture and then continuously meditate upon whether personal or
In
impersonal
Brahma,
Brahman. Ah,
in Brahma.
ah. What they do is Smaranam from our point of view. We may be doing Smaranam upon Nama Rupa Gunalila. They may be doing Smaranam upon the Brahman aspect, Paramatma aspect, sometimes Bhagavan aspect, but not with so much Leela and all. Maybe Rupa aspect of Bhagavan, Guna aspect of Bhagavan, but may not be so much Nama and Leela.
So more
Hare
of a, they
Krishna,
will
Prabhu.
go Smaranam also of the Brahman only, more. And some part
I
Rupa.
don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving different possibilities.
Very difficult to understand, but Prabhuji, like means somebody after performing devotional service to the form of the Lord, then they
Hmm.
want to enter into the Brahman and do Smaranam of Brahman. So
Ah,
it's such
no.
an
From the very
unfortunate.
beginning, from the very beginning, they want to have that. But to have that, you need to practice the sadhana. Even when they do bhakti, also they may not be so much doing archanam. Bhakti has 9 angas, na? You don't have to do 9 angas.
Yeah.
Even while doing bhakti, also they may do smaranam only.
Okay.
They
Okay.
may not be so much kirtanam. They may not be doing so much archanam. They may do smaranam. They may do shravanam.
And Prabhuji, then Brahmavadi, you mentioned Brahmavadis are whom? Those who want to purely enter into the Brahman. Those are Brahmavadis.
Ah, yeah. Brahmavadis are means those who speak about Brahman, who want to be with Brahman.
But
Bhaktas
those
are those
Brahma,
who speak about Bhagavan and those who want to be with Bhagavan.
so
Hare Krishna,
Brahmavadis
Prabhuji.
also use bhakti
Sorry.
as a means, Prabhuji.
Everyone without bhakti, you can't do anything. Hare Krishna, this question you should not ask now. It's like, I'll tell you, I told this many times also, I'll tell you once again. Practicing karma yoga means maintaining the gross body. Practicing jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga means maintaining the subtle body. Practicing bhakti means breathing. So now tell me.
What you said, sorry, I couldn't hear. Practicing, last what you said, practicing bhakti means
Practicing bhakti means breathing.
breathing. Okay.
Breathing. Can you maintain your gross body without breathing?
No.
Can you maintain your subtle body without breathing?
Difficult to say, Prabhuji, because once the body is dead, that time also, that time person is not breathing, but a subtle body is still there.
No, not like that. Maintaining means it is there, but it has no existence there, na? You can only say subtle body is existing only when it is in a gross body. Otherwise, it is called Bhuta Preta Pishash. No, you don't get into that philosophical aspect. It's from Vyavahara aspect, you say. From the
Okay.
Vyavahara point of view, we can only maintain our gross body, subtle body as long as we are breathing in. Similarly, the execution of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga are accomplished only when they are accompanied with Bhakti. Without accompanying with Bhakti, one cannot, in isolation, one cannot execute Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. That is understanding. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Japat Tapaha Apranastheha Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Without Bhakti, if one wants to practice karma, jnana, yoga, tapasya, all these things, such kind of practices are considered to be decorations on the dead body without life source. Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. It is like that. What is the value of the decorations on a dead body? If there is no life, if there is no prana, if there is no breathing,
Understood.
it's
you.
like that.
Yeah.
So they same thing. The first canto of second chapter. What was that verse? Anybody remember? So Sutta Goswami says that when we perform all the activities if the activities are not leading to rati of the Supreme Lord, they are all simply Shramayevai
Shrama eva
Kevalam.
kevalam.
Utpatayeva.
Dharma Swanushrita Pumsha Vikshaksena Katasuya Na Utpadayat Yadiratim Shramayevai Kevalam. That means they are not producing rati for the Supreme Lord, means there was no element of bhakti in those activities. One may be performing all one's karmic activities. There is no element of bhakti in that. All those activities never ever produce rati for the Supreme Lord. They are all simply waste labor.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that one who goes to his abode never comes back again. Yad gatva na nivartante. And then in
Yes.
Bhagavatam, we hear that these people, Mayavadis or Brahmavadis, they say to say that Patanti Adho Anadri Jashmadhangraya. So from
That
Brahman
verse is
also.
only about that. That verse is only about Mayavadis. It is not about Brahmavadis. Yad gatva na nivartante saddama paramamama. That verse is actually for Brahmavadis. We can also include Bhaktas in that. Even Brahmavadis and devotees, if they go to Brahman, they will never come back. The Mayavadis, they think that they have attained perfection, but they will not even attain perfection because they remain in this world. Because
But then
Anadata Yushmadangraya.
from where do they go exactly then? Is there some separate
They don't go
place?
anywhere. They will be roaming in this material world. They may go to Maharloka, Janaloka and come back.
Okay. So they don't go to
Because they
Brahman
have
at all.
No, not at all. They can't go beyond this universe. Because they have performed a lot of tapasya. As a result of the tapasya, they may go at most Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka and then come back.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Mayavadis will never go beyond this universe. Brahmavadis and devotees always attain perfection, either Vaikuntha or Brahman.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, if they go to Brahman, they will come back again.
No, they will not come back. But one second, I'll tell you one more point to make it clear. Srila Prabhupada and all our acharyas, they never ever encourage anyone to aspire to go to Brahman. In order to discourage us, sometimes they may say that even if they go to Brahman because there is a lack of activity, they will come back. That is to encourage seva, to encourage all of us that we should always aspire to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So for that reason, they discourage if at all anybody is aspiring to go to Brahman. Because we are propagating bhakti, so we don't have to propagate Brahmavada at all. So in that way, to increase the affinity towards seva, such kind of statements are mentioned in many places in the tika, in the commentaries. Not in the verses, but in the commentary they are mentioned.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. I also had this doubt because from the purport it's always mentioned like that. No? Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhuji, for the clarity.
because we are in a particular sampradaya, particular movement, so one need to propagate one's mode of service. One cannot propagate somebody else's mode of service. So that is natural. That we have to see. Okay, we'll continue. Etavaneva manujair
एतावानेव मनुजय
yoga naipunya buddhibhihi
योगनैपुण्यबुद्धिभिः
स्वार्थः सर्वात्मना ज्ञेयो
स्वार्थः सर्वात्मना ध्येयो
यत् परात्मैकदर्शनम्
यत्परात्मैकदर्शनम्. Persons who try to reach the ultimate goal of life must expertly observe the Supreme Absolute Person and the living entity, who are one in quality in their relationship as a part and whole. This is the ultimate understanding of life. There is no better truth than this.
Humans whose intelligence is fixed in skillful practice of yoga should understand by all efforts this goal consisting only of realization of Paramatma. So till now, whatever knowledge that Lord Sankarsana had spoken about, which was basically for Jnana Yoga practitioners and Ashtanga Yoga practitioners, which ultimately results in the realization of Paramatma. Paratmaika Darshana means the realization of the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, and nothing else. That means basically not a material realization. The realization is all about the absolute truth in his feature as Paramatma. That is how it is indicated. And after stating all these things, that means if one seriously understands this knowledge and practices accordingly, obviously one will have the realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth as Paramatma. Because from the very beginning we are telling that, my dear Citraketu, you are already a perfect devotee, but you lack some knowledge. So I give you that knowledge which is happily discussed by the Jnanis in general. That knowledge will obviously lead to Paramatma realization. That way Lord saying. Sameta Shraddhaya Rajan
Tvam etat shraddhaya rajan
Apramatto Vacho Mama
अप्रमत्तो वचो मम
ज्ञानविज्ञानसम्पन्नो
ज्ञानविज्ञानसम्पन्नो
धारयन् आशु सिद्ध्यति.
धारयन् आशु सिद्ध्यसि. O king, if you accept this conclusion of mine, being unattached to material enjoyment, adhering to me with great faith, and thus becoming proficient and fully aware of knowledge and its practical application in life, you will achieve the highest perfection by attaining me.
So by this knowledge and bhakti, a Jnana yogi and Ashtanga yogi can attain perfection. And my dear king, for you, you are already expert in bhakti. And if this knowledge also added to your bhakti, you will attain perfection very quickly. So like that, Lord Sankarsana is telling. O king, accepting my words with faith, being attentive, and being endowed with scriptural knowledge and realization, you will quickly attain perfection. So very soon, you will attain perfection. So these are the words of Lord Sankarsana unto our Citraketu. So it's like that. So whatever knowledge the Lord spoke, which is generally discussed among the Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga practitioners, and along with that knowledge, if they have little bhakti to it, they will attain perfection in due course of time. But King Citraketu was already a great devotee, already became a great devotee by the mercy of Narada Muni. And if he also had this knowledge, his attainment of perfection will become very quick. That's what here Lord is telling. Because you have bhakti, you also have knowledge. That means there is no more doubt. So you can quickly go back to Godhead. Then that way. The final verse of this chapter, Sri Shuka Uvacha.
Shuka Uvacha
Ashwasya Bhagavanitam
Ashvasya Bhagavanitam
Citraketum Jagadguru
Citraketum Jagadguru
Pashyatastasya Vishwasam Vishwatma
Pashyatastasya Vishvatma
Tataschantardade Harihi.
Taschantardade Hari. Sri Shukadeva Goswami continued, after thus instructing Citraketu and assuring him of perfection in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Supreme Soul, Sankarsana, disappeared from that place as Citraketu looked on.
So after that, instructed Citraketu Maharaj and assuring him of perfection in this way, the Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Guru, the soul of the universe, disappeared as Citraketu watched. So while I was preparing this section, I was having one doubt. The Lord is telling that very quickly you will attain perfection. That means as of now is not completely perfected. That means उनका मन में अभी भी कुछ इच्छा है, वो पूरा हुआ नहीं, तो पूरा करके आ जाओ करके भगवान बोल रहे हैं उनको. That means my dear Citraketu, whatever residue you have, so पूरा कर लो with the help of your bhakti and this knowledge, and then come to my abode. Indirectly telling come to my abode immediately, and directly telling that very soon you will attain perfection. That means you should not take more time to come to my abode. Come quickly. I have given you everything that is required for you. So like that, Lord hinted him, and Lord went back. Then Citraketu Maharaj, looking on the direction of the Lord's return, offering his obeisances. So like that. So this verse is the premise for the next section. The next chapter will have a connection from this verse, which we will understand maybe little later of the next chapter. So any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, from last time, now last class, and whatever we discussed, there are few doubts. Can I ask now? Yeah, just a second.
Are there devotees in the meantime? Many questions?
No questions, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, this is regarding the slides now 53, 54 verse number 16 chapter. In that means the notes I'm saying. Notes it is given the states of waking, dreaming and deep sleep in a dreaming person are all ignorance, since they are created by the jiva in ignorance and thus they are actually unreal. Means
Hmm.
I didn't quite understand this clearly. Means we are totally always in ignorance, and that is why our wakeful state is also a state of ignorance. That is how it should be understood.
Not
Because
like
we are
that, not like that. See, it is like this. We go through dream. We go through the dream experience. When we wake up, even though we may tell to other family members in our home, I got a ghastly dream. I was like tremendous suffering I was going through in the dream. What they will say? That is all simply a dream. It is not real. Don't worry. Forget it. Why?
yeah,
Because it is simply a illusion. It is not real.
right.
Okay. Here in the material world, in the night time, when we sleep, we are going through the dream. In the dream, there some unpalatable thing is happening. Same way, the Jivatma in the spiritual world is also going through a dream. Not one dream. Successively, hundreds of dreams he is going through. In one dream, he is born as a human being and is known as Pavaneshwar Das or Pandu Santoju, whatever. And is going through so many pleasant and unpleasant conditions. And is going through the mixed emotions, sometimes happy, sometimes miserable, sometimes both happy, miserable, all these things. So in that dream, morning to evening he is performing various activities, in the night he is sleeping, and in that sleep, sometimes he is dreaming again, and sometimes he is going through deep sleep. But in any case, from the point of view of Jivatma in the spiritual world, my current waking state, my current dreaming state, my current deep sleep states are all a dream only. And that dream which I go through in the night time is created by my mind, and hence it is illusory. And the dream that I am going through in the spiritual world, in the dream, I am born as Pavaneshwar Das and then doing all the activities. All these things are created by Maya. So Jnana scriptures say that just like you consider the dream experience as illusory, consider this experience also as illusory, and then endeavor to come back to Godhead, you will attain moksha. Otherwise, you will stay back here. That is understanding.
Means the dream
The word
state is
dreaming in the sentence, it is the Jivatma dreaming in the spiritual world.
the Jivatma dreaming in the spiritual world. Okay,
Ah,
our material state is like Jivatma dreaming in the spiritual world about
spiritual
this.
world. Yes, yes. One dream, I am a human being. Next dream, I am a dog. Next dream, I am a horse. Next dream, I am a snake. Next dream, I am a Devata, Asura, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, like that. I am going through successive dreams, one after the other.
Okay, understood. And all this is happening under the spell of ignorance.
Under the spell of
Maya.
Mahamaya. Don't say ignorance, but Mahamaya.
Okay. Yeah. No, here it was mentioned ignorance, not dreaming are all ignorance. That is why I was.
No, we should consider them as ignorance. We should consider them because they are produced by Maya. We should consider them as ignorance. And when we consider them ignorance, then only we can practice sadhana seriously and with a desire to go back to Godhead. Otherwise, if one continues to think that okay, this is real, this is very nice, this is very wonderful, one stays here only.
Okay. Means the
That is
under
understanding.
the covering of Maya, whatever we do, that is due to our ignorance, like that.
Ah, hmm.
Okay, because actually, Prabhuji, see, means this becomes little tricky to understand because in the verse 53, 54 now in the notes, also it is mentioned that similarly the states of waking, sleeping and dreaming conditions of the jiva are caused by a covering of material intelligence
Hmm.
and should be realized to be only Maya. So that means the material intelligence is equal to ignorance. That is how it should be.
In any case, whether you call it as ignorance, whether you call it as Maya, Mahamaya, they're all points. Basically, what is that? See, currently, if somebody asks, who are you and what are you doing? So we may introduce ourselves. I'm so and so, I'm doing so and so. But actually, when we come to the point that actually I am a Jivatma sleeping in the spiritual world, I'm going through the dream. In the dream, I am Pavaneshwar Das and so Brahmachari and this that. When I realize that this is the dream, do I identify with the dream existence?
No.
We should come to that point. Just like when we suddenly get up in the midnight after going through a dream, what our neighbor, our next person will say, if that is a dream, forget it immediately. There, that condition is you have come out of the dream and then you are told that forget it. Now, the Jnana sadhana says that while in the dream, you accept that you are in a dream and make an endeavor to come out of the dream.
Okay, means during the dream itself, you try to
Ah,
understand that you are in the dream.
that shows you are intelligent. Only an intelligent person can understand that I am in a dream, I have to come out of the dream.
Okay.
If one says this is not dream, I don't have to come out, then one will remain there only in the dream world.
So that is the material intelligence. With the help of material intelligence means how we differentiate. Like,
See, forget about all those terminology. Material intelligence means it will make you understand what you are going through is permanent real. मतलब यही दुनिया यही सही दुनिया इसके अलावा कुछ है ही नहीं ऐसा बोलने वाला मेटल इंटेलिजेंस द स्पिरिचुअल इंटेलिजेंस इज the world in which you are currently living is a dream world. Get out of this dream world. That is spiritual intelligence.
okay, understood. Yeah. Prabhuji, add one more small thing, just a minute. Uh, Here, in the 52 words textbook, it is mentioned that, however, although the expansion of the Lord's energy is the original cause, one should not think that the Lord Himself has expanded in different ways.
Same thing
Means,
now we just discussed. It is Lord's Bhairanga Shakti expands as conditioned soul, sorry, expands as the universe, and Lord's Tatastha Shakti expands as conditioned soul. And they cannot be equated with the Supreme Lord because they are not expansion of Swarupa Shakti. That's why we say, na, Amsha and Vibhinnamsha. The Lord's
yeah,
unlimited Vishnu expansions are all expansion of the Supreme Lord. They are Swamsha expansion. They are one with the Supreme Lord. And all the Jivatmas are expansion of Vibhinnamshas. So they cannot be considered one with the Supreme Lord always. Because in the Jivatmas, there are two categories of Jivatmas. Baddha Jivas and Mukta Jivas. So Baddha Jivas always should be treated as separate from the Supreme Lord. Though Mukta Jivas, the Nitya Siddhas and Sadhana Siddhas, Rupa Siddhas can be considered as the same part of Swarupa Shakti.
okay,
But in general, the Jivas are considered to be separate.
yeah, right. Means by own sadhana or by the Krupa Siddhi offered by the Lord, the jiva which is in the realm of Tatastha Shakti can go to the realm of Swarup Shakti in future. Like, is it
Obvious,
right?
na? Swarupa Shakti means entering into Vaikuntha. The moment
Okay.
one enters into Vaikuntha with an intention to serve the Lord, one becomes part of Swarupa Shakti.
Yes, Guruji. Understood. And one
Re-
small last thing too. Sorry, somebody wants
See,
to.
Mataji, it's
No,
okay.
no,
See,
no,
even
Mataji.
no, these things, na, even if you don't understand some of the things, it's okay because these are all, matlab, they are mostly like hardcore jnana principles.
Okay. Actually,
Okay, so
Prabhuji,
you
means
can
many places I was finding quite difficult to understand. Means everything was not becoming quite clear. So I was just floating like that.
you will only remember only if you keep discussing all these things with somebody else. If you simply hear and study, you will not remember. Unless until we'll discuss with others, we cannot remember them. Because when we discuss with others, they will also ask questions. Then we try to understand what it means, what it is, how it is. So there is back and forth. The back
Yeah.
and forth makes the subject matter clear, and the subject matter becomes a lifelong subject matter.
Yeah, our understanding also gets consolidated during the discussion. Yeah.
That.
Yes, Mataji wanted to ask.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This Mayavadis dwell on this statement, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya.
Hmm.
And quite often, like Prabhupada has made comments like, this is, it doesn't means the world is, it is real.
Hmm.
So, I mean, so this is what Lord Sankarsana is telling the same thing, no? Brahma Satya and Jagat, whatever exists, it's all illusion.
Hmm.
So it is not wrong, no, to
No,
consider.
no, not like that. See,
So
Lord
what is,
Sankarsana did not say that. Lord Sankarsana told the material world to be real but temporary. He said, this is real but temporary.
okay.
What he is saying that for a person who seriously want to practice Jnana, he says that just like whatever experience we go through dream, certainly we say that it is a illusory experience. Though we are going through that experience is not real. The world that we are experiencing in our dream is not at all real, even though we are experiencing it. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji. Means it is an illusion only.
It is completely illusion. The dream is completely illusion. And then, taking the help of that understanding, Lord says that for a Jnana practitioner, though we are living in this material world in a conditioned state, okay? In that conditioned state, we are going through three states. One is morning after we wake up till the time we go to bed, we are in a waking state, Jagruti. When we sleep, there are two possibilities. One possibility is we may go through some dreams. The second possibility is we may go through deep sleep. Okay?
Yes.
So there are three states in this material world. So he says that just like you very comfortably accepted the dream experience as illusory. Similarly, the current experience that you go through during the daytime, during the night time, okay, though it is real and temporary, but if at all you want to attain perfection, treat it as illusory, like that of a dream, and practice your sadhana seriously, then you can quickly come back to Godhead. The reason is by treating it as illusory, you are no more attached to it. You no more develop possessiveness with the things and objects and people of this world.
It means you treat it as illusion.
You are not outrightly rejecting it. You treat
Okay.
it. At least within the core of the heart, you consider it like that and you behave it with like that. But from practical point of view, deal normally only. But your understanding point of view, be indifferent to it.
Okay.
That will help you come back to God quickly.
Okay. Yes,
But
I got it.
see, you accept it as real but temporary, real
You
and temporary, but treat it as a illusory
illusion. Okay. Treat
for
it
your
as an
quick
illusion.
spiritual progress.
Okay. Thank you.
But Mayavadis, they completely outrightly say it is illusory. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. What kind of Jagat is Mithya? They say that the material world is Mithya. Our material identities, that I am a human being and somebody else is Devata, somebody else, all these identities are Mithya. And even they go to the extent that Even when the Supreme Lord comes in various forms, forms like Krishna, Rama, Varaha, Kurma, Matsya, Vamana, they are also Mithya. The Lord's forms in this material world are also Mithya. Because they are also in the material world, na? Everything and anything in this material world is all outrightly Mithya. Only Brahman is Satya. That Brahman, without any qualities, without any attributes, without any activities, without any form, name, is Satya. That means they do not even accept Paramatma and Bhagavan also. That's why they are called Mayavadis. They say other than Brahman, everything else is Maya. Because
Okay.
they say everything is Maya, Maya, Maya. That's why they are called as Mayavadis.
Okay. Got it. I understood, Prabhuji.
See, outrightly stating and rejecting it like that, it is different from accept it is real, but treat it as illusion.
Treated as an illusion. I got it.
That is
Prabhuji.
different. That is entirely different.
Thank you very
In that
much.
way.
Hare Krishna,
So,
Prabhuji, that means the Mayavadi's understanding is the world is unreal and temporary, right? Huh?
no. So Mayavadi's understanding is world is Maya only. When
That
you say
unreal.
Mayavadi, for them everything is Maya. Then when you say Maya, there is no need to go further to explain the real, unreal, temporary, permanent. उसका बात जरूरत ही नहीं. अनरियल मतलब माया मतलब माया, बट उसको कुछ एग्जिस्टेंस है ही नहीं, उसके बारे में कुछ बात करने का सवाल नहीं.
So illusion only, everything is illusion. Maya. Okay. Prabhuji, one small thing, Prabhuji, here now in the this thing 51 verse purport it is mentioned the categories of emanations from the non-substance are two activities and forbidden activities. That means karma and vikarma. Karma refers to the pious life or material activities performed during the day and the mental activities of dreams at night. So I didn't understand that whether the mental activities in the like dreams are also considered as karma.
See, everyone can go through dreams. The daytime activities and nighttime dreams of a pious person both are considered to be pious activities. And the daytime activities of a sinful person and the dreams of a sinful person both are considered to be sinful. Because then whose dream is that? A pious person's dream. So it is also a pious. And a sinful person's dream is also a sinful. Like that.
But Prabhuji, pious person dream is also pious. Dream itself is a illusion. So what is pious and non-pious in it?
See, very simple. No need to worry so much. A pious person, what kind of dream he will get? He will get a dream that he has gone to earth. He will get a dream that he has given charity of 1,000 kilos of gold. Because the person normally gives small charities, but he cannot, since he cannot do big charity, at least he is doing big charity in the dream. अच्छा है ना? That is also a pious activities. So he can't do it in reality, but he is dreaming as if he is giving a big donation.
So that will be also counted as his good karma like that.
Because a pious person's thought process is also pious. So he will get pious dreams only. If at all that person gets a impious dream, very little bit horrible dream or some sinful dream and all that, this person becomes like terribly miserable. Hey, how come I get this? I never thought like this. Why this dream is coming to me? He will talk to 10 people. ऐसा हुआ ड्रीम में सच होगा क्या ऐसा करके. Because this person that he never thinks of something sinful. Even some impious dream comes, he becomes so regretful about this. So how come I got the dream? Is it really I'm a sinful person? I'm not pious. Like that, he will think a lot about it.
Difficult to understand. Actually, Prabhuji, as a homeopathic doctor, like when we take history, now we also go a lot in what are the dreams of the person and all. And Means I cannot say that completely I know every patient, that is I can say he's a pious person or not, but like many good persons get bad dreams, like some murdering somebody or like that, or of bloodshed, like that thing.
That means he is majorly good person. He is not completely good person. Sometimes this person also go through some negative emotions. He is good person, but somebody is troubling him a lot. He might think that this person is too much troubling. This trouble, when is this trouble will end? Only when the person dies, only that time trouble will end. Normally, he may not think that I will kill him, but he is getting a dream that he is going to kill him, because normally what he can't do, he might be thinking of doing it in the dream.
Yeah, that's true. Because
That
that is a
that can
subconscious mind. Yeah.
because he is causing him not able to do the what he want to do. So you want to get rid of him.
So that means actually he's not that pious. Means externally he may appear like
Yeah,
there
you
are
want to
some
become pious, but circumstances are not allowing
there
him
are some
to go
sinful
in that way.
tendencies still lurking.
Ah,
Okay, okay, understood. Thank you. But means my fear was that if we do something in the dream, that also will be counted as our karma, like that. That I was scared.
not exactly, but one should be careful. Basically, see, that is what I'm trying to say. Even if something wrong happens in the dream, a sane person is actually very much regrets about it. That shows his kind nature. So it's like that.
Okay, okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay, okay. You people are analyzing a lot. Hare Krishna. So we'll go ahead. 17th chapter. We'll discuss a little bit. It's already 8 o'clock. The 17th chapter describes how King Citraketu, as the leader of the Vidyadharas, laughed at Lord Shiva and received a curse from Lord Shiva's wife, Mother Parvati, to become Vritrasura. There are 41 verses in this chapter. So let us see. Sri Shuka Uvacha
Shuka Uvacha
Yatas Chantarhitonantas
Yataschandarhito Nantas
Tasai Krutva Namaha
Tasyai Kritva Dishe Namaha
Vidyadharas Chitraketus
Vidyadharash Chitraketush
Chachara Gaganechara.
Chachara Gagane Charaha. Srila Shukadev Goswami said, after offering obeisances to the direction from which Ananta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, had disappeared, Chitraketu began traveling in outer space as the head of the Vidyadharas.
After offering obeisances direction from which Lord Ananta had disappeared, King Chitraketu began traveling in outer space at the head of the Vidyadharas. Basically, Lord disappeared, Chitraketu offered obeisances, and he took the role of the king of the Vidyadharas. He went to Vidyadhara Loka, and then now he is living his life in Vidyadhara Loka. He is no more king of the Bhumandala anymore. No, that is the understanding. So what kind of life he is leading in the Vidyadhara Loka? Vidyadhara Loka is part of Bhuvar Loka, which we discussed in the fifth canto in the outer space. Salaksham Varshalakshana
Salaksham Varsha Lakshana
Avyahata Balendriya
Avyahata Balendriya
Suyamano Maya Mahayogi
Suyamano Mahayogi
Munipi Siddha Charanai
Munidhi Siddha Charanai
Kulachalendra Dronishu
Kulachalendra Dronishu
Nana Sankalpa Siddhishu
Nana Sankalpa Siddhishu
Preme Vidyadhara Sribir
Reme Vidyadhara Sridhir
Gapayan Harimishwaram.
Gapayan Harimishwaram. being praised by great sages and saints and by the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and Charanaloka. Citraketu, the most powerful mystic yogi, wandered about enjoying life for millions of years. With bodily strength and senses free from deterioration, he traveled within the valleys of Sumeru Mountain, which is the place of perfection for various kinds of mystic powers. In those valleys, he enjoyed life with the woman of Vidyadharaloka by chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord.
Praised by great sages and by the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and Charanaloka, Chitraketu Maharaj, the most powerful yogi, with bodily strength and senses free from deterioration, chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. What he was doing there primarily? Chanting the glories of Supreme Lord. Enjoyed life with the women of Vidyadhara Loka for 100,000 years. How long he continued as the king of Vidyadharas? 100,000 years. Varsha Lakshanam. Where? Within the valleys of Sumeru mountain, which is the place of perfection for various kinds of mystic power. So basically, you see, I was just mentioning, he had some desires still remaining. What was the desire? From the very beginning, if you see, what was Parikshit the Chitraketu Maharaj after? He wanted to have a son. For what purpose? To continue the kingdom in a righteous way. That means he had a lot of attachment to being a king, and also he want to be known as the father of a good king. That is there. That's why he wanted to have a good son who can become a good king. So in one sense, his desire to be a king, he desired to be the father of a king is very strong. And somehow he could not fulfill that desire because he did not have a son. So he was a king. Instead of continuing and fulfilling his desire of being a king, his attention was always about begetting a son. We discussed. He was marrying so many wives. So we also said that though verse says it could be 1 billion wives, but we can make the count to 30,000 wives. That means at least for 30,000 years, solidly he was completely focused on begetting a child. He is marrying and waiting for some time, maybe a year we can say, hoping that his wife become pregnant. Not possible. Next year he is marrying new girl. Not possible. Next year he was marrying new girl. That means for 30 years he could have continued as a good and religious king. Could have been happy so that his desire would have been fulfilled. But for 30 long years, he was simply focused on marrying, 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 marrying. He could not fulfill his desire to being a good king. And also, by the way, he did not fulfill his another desire of becoming the father of a good king. But somehow or other, after the birth of Harsashoka, he has given up that desire to become the father of a good king. But his desire to be a good king was still remaining. And that he is fulfilling now by becoming the king of Vidyadharas. And he continued as the king of Vidyadharas for 1 lakh years. That much is the strong desire he has. So this is how you can understand. He gave up all vows for various powers which were available there and glorified the Lord. He was absorbed in hearing about and chanting about the qualities of the Lord. Of course, though 24/7 is doing Shravanam Kirtanam, but he is doing that Shravanam Kirtanam, the Upadhi of King of Vidyadharas. He has not given up that Upadhi. He is doing it with that Upadhi only. This point we can understand. So then, so much time has passed, 1 lakh years. Then Lord himself orchestrates a particular event to take place, so that very soon King Chitraketu will come to my abode. What is going to happen from now on? It is all orchestrated by the Supreme Lord. Lord told him, so my dear Citraketu, come to me very quickly, because Lord has given all the knowledge that is required to him. In spite of that, he did not go even for 1 lakh years. Lord is becoming impatient. उनको वापस बुलाने के लिए Lord is making all the arrangements which we are going to discuss now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ah,
Like in the beginning, we discussed now that mantra we discussed at length, which Lord Sankarsana had given, and all. We said that Citraketu attained perfection just by chanting it for 1 week like that. So, like, means what kind of perfection it was, Prabhuji, when after doing that for 1 lakh years, he's still in the material world. And it means
see, simple, it is not confusing. For 7 days he chanted, he became king of Vidyadharas. Another 7 days he chanted, he had the darshan of the Supreme Lord. And Lord told that whatever sadhana you have done till now, as a result of that you had my darshan, you still need to perform some more sadhana so that you will come to me. But perform it seriously so that you will come to me very quickly. Okay? एक चीज परफॉर्मिंग साधना, दूसरा चीज जाने का इच्छा भी होना चाहिए.
but जाने का इच्छा डेवलप नहीं हुआ, then the sadhana itself is imperfect now, Prabhuji. If somebody is not developing the desire to go back,
Then now, why is he not going then? He is doing sadhana, perfect sadhana.
because here also I was not understanding. It is mentioned that he was enjoying with the Vidyadhara woman and all that. Like means still
No, not no need to be. See, he is not enjoying with women, but he is enjoying the position as the king of the Vidyadhara. Enjoying means not he no need to enjoy also. He is there. He is there in that position now also.
maybe.
Because I am not saying all these things. I mean, Koto, Varsha Lakshana, 1 lakh years is continuing as the king of Vidyadharas. He could have wound up everything the very first day. The very first day, you must have said that, no, I don't want to be the king of Vidyadharas. I'll just practice Bhakti and come back to Godhead immediately. But why did he continue as king of Vidyadharas for 1 lakh years?
Why I means I why Prabhuji?
Hmm?
You are asking me now why he continued as a king of
Not
Vidya.
only you, in general, I'm asking. What was
Because
the
he
need
had
for him
that
to
what you
continue as a king of
mentioned now,
Vidyadharas?
Prabhuji, just before starting this chapter, you mentioned something now that he was not completely cleansed because Lord Sankarsana said you get completely cleansed and come back.
हाँ सर, पूरा क्लेंसिंग होने के लिए आप फॉरेस्ट जाके भी तपस्या कर सकते थे, फॉरेस्ट
हाँ
जाके उधर ही भक्ति कर सकते थे.
सब लोग तो वही करते
राजा
हैं ना
क्यों
और
बनने का? हाँ,
हाँ
राजा बना क्योंकि उनके मन में राजा बन के रहने का इच्छा था.
Desire. He still had material desires.
No, you cannot say material desire. That I gave you the example now. He wanted to be a religious king and also he wanted to be the father of a religious king. In order to become the father, he was not focused on being a religious king for 30,000 years. He was simply focused on with marrying a new wife and begetting children, marrying new wife and begetting children.
so
Prabhuji, that
becoming
is
a
also a material desire only.
that's what that also means
To
having
live
a
in this material world and enjoy controllership, that is a material desire.
No, he may not be enjoying that. He may not be consciously doing it, but it is happening. See, sometimes we may get something because we want it. Sometimes it comes to us because we are destined to get it. Because sometime in the past we desired it, so it comes to us. Currently, we don't know. And that time you cannot question, why it is coming to me, I never asked for it. पहले पूछा था, का पहले जन्म में पूछा होगा, इसलिए अभी आ रहा है. Something like that.
Okay, so the very fact that we are there in that position means we are in a vulnerable position where, you know, we may get attached to it, we may not get attached to it. So one should not be in that position.
Even though one is not attached to that position, but one has got that position, one is supposed to be in that position because one desired it sometime in the past.
Yes.
That means, see, this is one more point also. Unless until we are done with all our desires in this material world, one cannot go to spiritual world. Either one need to naturally fulfill all one's desires, or forcefully shorten all the desires and complete quickly and wind up the business and go back. But उसका पूरा तो करना ही पड़ेगा. But there are only two ways. Either you do it normal way or do it by force in a short time.
Means what, Prabhuji, by force in short time?
Probably like renounce. Like the
do it
other,
for
like Bharat
follow it
Maharaj.
for some time and then renounce it immediately.
Because we do see na Prabhuji, Prithu Maharaj, Priyavrat Maharaj, they also had abundant wealth, abundant position, like.
But they also ruled, na? They also ruled.
They
ruled
but
for
at
some time.
particular time they left also na Prabhuji. Priyavrat Maharaj को भी जरूरत था तो बुला के ब्रह्मा जी ने उन्होंने
The
लाया.
reason is, even when they became kings, they did not have the desire to be the king. Because they were born in a Kshatriya family, they were supposed to become the kings and they became the kings. As soon as there is a right opportunity that somebody else can become the king, they renounced.
Yeah, but that was lacking in Citraketu. That is why he remained as a king of Vidyadhara for so long.
But this desire is not now, he is not desiring now. He desired in the past and its fruits are coming now.
अच्छा, मतलब प्रभु जी लेकिन बीच में इतना तपश्चर्या किया ना उन्होंने, साधना किया ना, तो उससे वो धुल नहीं
सिर्फ
गया
ये ना, आपने एक बार डिजायर किया मतलब उसका डिजायर तो रिजल्ट तो आएगा ना कभी ना कभी.
Oh God, it is dangerous, Prabhuji. Means even we do so much, means whatever साधना, हमारा तो साधना वो लेवल का भी नहीं है जो चित्रकेतु ने किया होगा. तो उसके बावजूद whatever we may have desired in the past, that we will have to get it because we desired. You may have.
It will come. Everything will come. That means it is not just because desire. It is desire as well as if we deserve it, it will come. Obi, that is also factor there. Because since he was a religious king, he deserves. Why not?
But it is said, na Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and whatever sadhana we do, it purifies our heart. So when the heart is getting purified, still why Lord will give something material? Because he knows, because past में इसने desire किया था, लेकिन अभी वो purify हो रहा है, फिर भी देंगे क्या?
It is not that Lord is giving. हमने उसको पाने के लिए जो करना चाहिए वो कर लिया, तो पाएंगे हम. But thing is that when it comes, if one is not too attached to it, it will not stay with us for a long time. For example, I'll tell you one thing. You have invested in some fixed deposit, hoping that like many years back, last decade, you invested in fixed deposit, some mutual fund or fixed deposit or real estate, whatever, somewhere. So, but now you have become devotee. Now you have become indifferent to all your material wealth. So, but the deposit has come to maturity, and it suddenly you get a mail saying that so the next month your deposit is reaching maturity and the amount will be credited to your account. Do you accept or not? Aapne deposit kiya, it is coming, so it comes. But when it comes, what is your response? Based on that, your future will be decided. So it has come. So that yeah, I mean, it has come, so I have to be with it. तो उसके साथ ही रहेंगे ज्यादा समय तक. In spite of it comes, you accept it and give it to somebody else and continue with your renunciation. Then it will not harm you anymore.
Yeah.
So you got the matured amount and you give it in some charity, and because sometime back you are already in the renounced state consciousness. Now I want to practice bhakti very seriously. I don't want to be entangled in any of the material subject matters. The money came, you accepted and give it in charity to somebody else, and you forget it. Whether money came and gone in charity, I mean, it's all one day matter and it is gone. You are in renunciation now. So Aya, Firbi, you are not affected by that. But if you take it, if you construct a bungalow and you live in bungalow, one becomes attached to that bungalow.
So there is sense of
I'm not
things.
promoting charities and all, but I'm just giving an example because this we can relate to it.
No, no, yeah, we are trying to understand the Citraketu state. Now that is why we are discussing.
It's okay. Citraketu is not doing it willingly. We can have some benefit of doubt also. But somehow or other in the past he had some desire to be a good king. So that is happening now. बहुत टाइम पास हो रहा है बट भगवान क्या कर रहे हैं अभी आप बहुत टाइम गया चले गए अभी आ जाओ कब आएंगे आप नहीं आ रहे तो मैं आपको खींच के लेके जाऊंगा so it is like that so in one sense you should understand that what is the topic of sixth canto
Portion.
canto 6 portion what do you mean by portion
Maintenance.
Nourishment.
what do you mean by nourishment even though knowingly or unknowingly we make a mistake Lord gives us second chance to go back home back to Godhead. Ajamila was a perfect Brahmana. If he had practiced his Brahmanical duties, he could have gone back to Godhead nicely. But he made a mistake. But still, Lord gave him a second chance. He utilized the second chance very nicely, went back to Godhead. Okay?
Yeah.
Citraketu was a religious king. Somehow or other, his karma did not allow him to beget a child. If he, realizing it, accepting it, if he could have practiced bhakti seriously, he can go back to Godhead.
Yes.
But he was focused all his energies upon getting a child instead of practicing bhakti. Of course, he was religious, but his attention is all diverted to some immediate activity. So now, somehow or other, Narada Muni and Angir Rishi came and gave him a chance to what you can say to understand his mistake and follow on the proper path. Yeah, yes, he followed on the proper path, but still there are some residues. As a result of that, he has become the king of Vidyadharas. So at least now he could have made full effort to go back home back to Godhead immediately. He is practicing bhakti, but his desire to go back home back to Godhead has not become solid. So now the Lord took it on himself. अभी आप खुद नहीं आ रहे हो तो मैं लेके जाऊंगा आपको. So Lord is taking him back to Godhead by force, by creating such kind of circumstances.
Now I can understand his prayers closely when he was saying Nanaka Prishtam Nachaparam Ashtam. So after going through all this, then he had realized no, without Lord I don't want anything.
It's simple. I mean, I don't know. This is my little understanding. I may be wrong also. As a king of Vidyadhara, he was practicing bhakti. It is not that he is doing sense gratification. For him, as a religious person, practicing bhakti is what he understood from Narada Muni, so he is practicing bhakti. उसमें कुछ गलती नहीं. But he is practicing bhakti at the king of Vidyadhara only. Bhakti चल रहा है साथ में साथ kingship is also चल रहा है. But unfortunately, even though one may be a great devotee, If one continues to stay in this material world, anytime the material world can pull one's legs. Material world is not a favorable place to practice bhakti for a long time.
Lord is
Though
giving
he was not enjoying being the king of Vidyadharas, though he was not enjoying the company of the ladies, though he was not enjoying the kingly opulences or heavenly opulences, but still, just as a matter of fact that is still in the material world, that itself is not a comfortable situation where one is not expected to be. He was not expected. He has not. He is not bound for that position. Temporarily, he was given that position, and it is not a bound agreement. Like that, we can understand. But for devatas such as Indra and all, Indra Chandra, it is a bound agreement. Even though if they want to go back to Godhead, even though if they have intense desire to go back to Godhead, they cannot go because they have already agreed upon a bond. They have to stay till the end of the Manvantara. Then they will not stay even 1 second. They will go back to Godhead. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj. First of all, he does not want to become the king. Lord Krishna told, you become the king, I am there, you don't worry, I'll take care. So as long as Krishna is there, he continued as a king. The moment he heard Lord Krishna left, he also left. So it is like that. Because he continued as a king just because Lord Krishna said so. Otherwise, for a given a chance, he is ready to leave the very first day only. If that is the case, that could have been the case with Citraketu Maharaj, he could have left the day one only. Yeah, he was made the king. Okay, I will accept this position for 1 day, and second day I am leaving because I honored the position. I gave due respect. Thank you very much. I am leaving. That could have happened because he is
but
not bound.
sorry.
Okay.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that Chitraketu was not very attached to the position. He was just there. Means then if he was not attached, what is the thing because of which he remained for so long in that position?
Because वहां पे भक्ति भी कर रहे हैं ना, चल रहे हैं, अच्छे से चल रहे, चलने दो. That's why it said na, sometimes we may desire, we get it, and we are there. Sometimes we get it something even though we are not desired. But the answer is yes, you have not desired it in this life, but you desired it in the previous life. It has come. So it will be with you unless until you give up by force.
Because generally we see the bhakti produces jnana and vairagya. So if somebody is doing bhakti and if it is going in right direction, that should produce some kind of vairagya. That's what just.
Yes, he has vairagya from kingly opulences, heavenly opulences, and the company of opposite. That vairagya is always there, but somehow or other, he is continuing as the king. See, Mataji, don't ask me the question why and all. I also don't know. I'm just giving why he continued for 1 lakh years. I'm giving a simple understanding. I may be wrong also. This I have not heard from anybody also. Just this is my little understanding, just to connect from the previous chapter to this chapter. And if you get into more analysis, I don't know.
Yeah, thank you.
एकदा सा विमानेन
एकदा सा विमानेन
विष्णुदत्तेन बाश्वता
विष्णुदत्तेन भास्वता
गिरीशं ददृशे गच्छन्
गिरिशं ददृशे गच्छन्
परितं सिद्धचारणै
परितं सिद्धचारणै
आलिङ्ग्याङ्कीकृतां देवीं
आलिङ्ग्याङ्कीकृतां देवीं
बाहुना मुनि संशदि
बाहुनां मुनिसंसदि
उवाच देव्याः शृण्वत्या
उवाच देव्या शृण्वन्त्या
जहासोच्चैतदन्तिके.
जहाशोच्चैस्तदन्तिके.
I will read the Mataji, don't read.
Yes.
One time, while King Citraketu was traveling in outer space on a brilliant airplane given to him by Lord Vishnu. When Lord made him a king of Vidyadharas, he was also given an airplane. Since then, in that airplane, he was living for 1 lakh years. One day, he saw Lord Shiva surrounded by Siddhas, Chanaras, and all the many devatas. The devatas' names will come little later also. All his associates like Kuvera, Four Kumaras, Narada, and Angira, Pulaha, etc. All great sages are there in that assembly. And in that assembly, Lord Shiva giving a talk, a discourse on Jnana. But while giving the discourse, he kept Mother Parvati on his lap. Lord Shiva, surrounded by Siddhas and Charanas, embracing Parvati on his lap with his arm in an assembly of great sages. King Citraketu laughed loudly and spoke within the hearing of Mother Parvati. So they are all seated in Kailash and Lord Shiva giving a Bhagavad Katha. This is not exactly Bhagavad Katha. This is a Katha endowed with a lot of Jnana. This is a philosophical dialogue is happening there. While discussing philosophical dialogue, Lord Shiva kept Mother Parvati on his lap and is also embracing Mother Parvati with his left hand. So that is where it is indicated. In the assembly of the renounced sages, he is seated with Mother Parvati. So that is the context. The Lord, feeling separation from King Citraketu, after giving him wealth of Vidyadharas along with Bhakti, gave him the body of Vrutrasura by the curse of Mother Parvati and brought him to his side. Now what is going to happen is all orchestrated by Supreme Lord so that King Citraketu will come to Vaikuntha immediately. Otherwise, King Citraketu might continue for another 1 lakh years as King of Vidyadharas also. Because he is doing Bhakti. Angekritam means being off his body. Mother Parvati who was off of Lord Shiva's body. So in that way. So Lord Citraketu Maharaj saw and then he makes certain comments in the glorification of Lord Shiva only. But those comments are perceived by Mother Parvati as remarks, as criticism. And Mother Parvati curses Citraketu to become the Asura. And then he became Asura and quickly went back to Godhead. That means he was in a comfortable standstill position. And Lord created ripple by Mother Parvati's curse. When there was a ripple, then he realized I am still continuing in a temporary real condition. I need to enter into permanent real condition. And he does not want to waste even one day. He was pleading Indra, kill me, kill me, kill me. I want to go back to Godhead. I don't want to stay here because already I wasted 1 lakh years. I could have gone back to Godhead long back, 1 lakh years back. So it is like that. By creating ripple, Lord reawakened that knowledge which Lord Sankarsana spoke to him long back. After realizing that he does not want to stay even 1 second in this material, he want to go back quickly. That we can also understand in this chapter. At the end, he says that, my dear Parvati, you have cursed. Though I have not made any mistake, I don't want to justify that. I will accept your curse so that I can go back home back to God very quickly. If I give you some reasoning, if you nullify your curse, I may continue to stay as king of Vidyadharas for 1 more lakh years in this world. I don't want that. Now I realize I am in a comfortable situation. I was attached to comfort. Now I understood that this is not the right thing to do. Now I am going back to Godhead, following your curse. Your curse is actually a blessing in disguise. Thank you very much. I'm going bye bye. So like that. Sometimes we may also enter into comfort zone. That time somebody should come and create a ripple within our mind. Then we realize we come to the reality. Then we become serious. That is required sometimes. That is happening with King Chitraketu. Now, comfort zone से बाहर आने का. So we'll just see all the way up to text number 8 and then we'll close for today. Citraketu Ruvacha
चित्रकेतुरुवाच
Eshaloka Guru Sakshad
एष लोक गुरु साक्षात्
Dharmam Vakta Sharirinam
धर्मं वक्ता शरीरिणाम्
Aste Mukhya Sabhayam Vai
आस्ते मुख्यः सभायां वै
Mituni Bhuya Bharyaya.
मिथुनीभूय भार्यया.
King Chitraketu said, Lord Shiva, the Guru of the entire universe, the speaker of Dharma, okay, Dharmam Bhakta, the chief of all living entities, okay, Sharirina Mukhyaha, hmm? He is embracing his wife, Parvati, in the midst of an assembly. Of course, I don't have any doubt about your position or the great Lord, head of all the devotees, Vaishnavana, Meta Shambhu, and the proper speaker of bona fide Dharma. Everything is there, chief of all living entities, all these things are there. But here one thing is, Yadyad Acharati Shrestha Tatat Eva Itaro Jana. What a leader does, common people follow. Here, what leader is doing apparently a transgression of Dharma. So common people who does not understand the position of Lord Shiva may mistake and may do it, may follow in his footsteps. That is not a proper thing. So in order to help us understand the position of Lord Shiva, Chitraketu Maharaj making certain comments is saying that even Lord Shiva does this in the assembly of great souls. There will be no mistake on his part. He is not doing this out of some material desires, out of some materialistic impetus. That thing is doing. Only he can do like this. Lord Shiva, seated in the midst of an assembly of renunciates, speaking about renunciation, can do things like making his wife sit on his lap and embrace her. This will not a transgression on the part of Lord Shiva. That is what Chitraketu Maharaj is saying now. Jatadaras
जटाधरस्तीव्रतपा
Brahmavadi Sabhapati
ब्रह्मवादी सभापति
Ankikritya Striyam Shaste
अङ्कीकृत्य स्त्रियं चास्ते
Tata Hri Prakruto Yata.
गतः ह्रीप्राकृतो यथा.
Lord Shiva with matted hair, Jatadhara, the performer of great austerities, Tivratapa, and the Lord of the assembly of Brahmavadis, Brahmavadi Sabhapati. See, now comes the point. Lord Shiva is the leader of Brahmavadis. That means, though Lord Shiva is a great devotee, but he is the teacher of Brahmavada. He is the teacher of Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga prominently. He is seated with his wife on his lap without shame, like an ordinary mortal. A materialistic person with intense material desires may want to keep his wife on his lap. And apparently, Lord Shiva's activity seems to be like that of a materialistic person, but it is not a materialistic activity because Lord Shiva do acting like this is not it is inspired by a materialistic desire. That is what he is telling. Lord Shiva is not a mortal being since he is the Lord. However, one should not think that King Citraketu was an offender like Daksha. Daksha offended last time. Daksha outrightly stated, Lord Shiva, "Hey, what kind of a person are you? You are not even no, don't have common sense to get up when your elder comes like that." And he went on so many different things he spoke. But that is on the material consideration. But what Chitraketu is saying here are not on the material consideration. It is spiritual. It actually indirectly is glorifying Lord Shiva actually. Only Lord Shiva can do like this. So in that way. प्रायशा प्राकृतश्चापि
प्रायशः प्राकृतश्चापि
स्त्रियं रहसि बिभ्रति
स्त्रियं रहसि बिभ्रति
अयं महाव्रतधरो
अयं महाव्रतधरो
बिभ्रति सदसि स्त्रियम्.
बिभर्ति सदसि स्त्रियम्.
Ordinary conditioned persons generally embrace their wives in a private place. On the other hand, Lord Shiva, the man of great vows, is embracing his wife in the assembly of great saints. Mahavartadara means a brahmachari from birth, a leader of the yogis. That he was embracing his wife shows his inconceivable power. See, the understanding is Mahavratadara means brahmachari from birth. Here the contrast is shown. Here what Citraketu Maharaj is saying that the people in general they embrace their wife in seclusion, but in front of everyone they show as if they are highly renounced. But on the other hand, Lord Shiva follows Mahavrata in seclusion, but in public he is embracing his wife as if to showcase that he is like an ordinary mortal materialistic person. This is the nature of a great soul. That is what is glorified by Chitraketu Maharaj. Though externally you are acting like a materialistic person with full of material desires, but you are Mahavratadara. This is only a show. It is not real. On the other hand, the people in general, in front of material, in front of the people, they show as if they are highly renounced. But in seclusion, they are embracing their wives. They are actually showmakers. They are not real. Like that, is Chitraketu Maharaj is glorifying Lord Shiva. Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. This is the first section is over. So next time we'll see how hearing these words Mother Parvati reacts and curses. Actually, Mother Parvati's react is all inspired by Paramatma. Because Paramatma, the Supreme Lord wants Chitraketu to come back. Somebody should become an instrument in between. So Lord shows Mother Parvati as the instrument to bring Chitraketu Maharaj back home, back to Godhead. So thank you very much. We have discussed a lot today. So we no more questions. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much for answering our questions so patiently.
No, that is okay. But if I confused anybody, please excuse me.
No,
So,
Prabhu. Not at all. Thank you very much.
Guruji,
Hare
next
Krishna.
class will be offline.
yeah, I'm in Chandigarh today. Tomorrow night I'll be traveling from here. So I will update. If possible, who are in Mumbai can come to temple. We can have offline class.
Guruji, how long you will be in Mumbai? Because you had mentioned earlier na, that when you will be in Mumbai, we will do the presentations like that.
Yes. So at least certainly we'll not do next week. So yeah, please prepare. So we will do maybe the week after that or the week after that, whatever. In between, I will be going to Hyderabad for a few days. I think I'm leaving on 12th or 13th. Till then I'm there, but after a week I'm coming back again.
Okay,
So
so
when
it
I
will
go
be
to
June end.
Hyderabad, for 2 weeks I am not there. For 2 weekends I am not there in Bombay.
Okay. So presentations will be at the June end, na Prabhuji?
Not necessarily. If you all of you are ready, we can do immediately also. Not next week, next to next week also we can do.
Okay. Okay.
If
Whatever other
unless until if some topic is connected to the next two, the remaining two chapters. Otherwise, if the topics chosen are from fifth canto and beginning of sixth canto, we can do. Why not? Those who have not chosen the topics can select now and let us know when we can do. As and when all of you are ready, we'll do it immediately. Why to postpone to future dates?
Okay, Prabhuji. We'll let.
Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Tantra Srimad
Thank you
Bhagavatam
so
ki
much.
jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.